Randgold Resources is London listed and it's run by Mark Bristow,
who of course is a South African. So this is a company, remember Rand Mines was formed in 1893, and I'll tell you in a minute all the bits that spun off it, but Mark took the African assets outside of South Africa, particularly in Mali, and built this company listed in London. It's probably the superior performer in the whole sector over that period as well.
It also has operations in West Africa, market cap here of £6.9 billion. It's got a PE ratio of 54, just over 54, and pays a dividend of 0.6%. Mark Bristow, financial journalists have been interviewing for a very long time, every 6-month period, every 12-month period for many years. This is the man who takes center stage on Randgold. Any thoughts from the investor community on whether you should be steeped in this one?
He's a very interesting character, and that's why I think he's very media friendly, because I just like him because he likes motorbikes and he drives all over Africa on them. So, but I think the strategy behind Randgold is very different to some of the other gold miners that we're going to look at, and I think most significantly it's basically ungeared. So there's no debt in this company, which is fantastic. And I mean, they've always run it.
What a great position to be in an uncertain environment.
Yeah, and that's it. And then suddenly you can sort of value Randgold very easily. You look at how many ounces are on the ground, how much it costs them to get it out, where the gold price is, and you sort of just do the calculation and work out how, and then present value it, and you can kind of work out where it is. You don't even have to, pay back anyone. So, looking at Randgold, I think it's a solid operator. It's got a great track record as well. I mean, like Paul says, I mean, operating heavily in Africa, especially in West Africa, but it's got the history. It proves that it can get the job done, even in very difficult operating environments. And it's got a nice exploration sort of bias to it as well. Whereas a lot of the likes of Barrick or Newmont, they have to go and pay that almost what's called an acquisition premium when they buy out the small mines. Randgold really tries to do it themselves. They've got very clever engineers and geologists out there going and looking at the projects. I think they've got 141 sites they're investigating at the moment. So all in all, it looks like a very well-run gold mine.
Well, I know you've got a barrage of facts that you can add to Gary's.
Well, first, let's talk about that chart. So its all-time high, in fact, was that high. So that's as recent as, July 2016. So that tells you how well regarded the company is, notwithstanding the fact that its operations are in relatively dangerous places. I mean, Mali, they had, various terrorist attacks in Bamako. The mines themselves are in the southern part of Mali, which is the better half of Mali. But there is a dispute currently with the Mali government over taxes historically, which Mark Bristow's kind of
uncertainty over the story.
He feels, you can see, it's a bit of a parallel to what happened to MTN in Nigeria. Big part of the economy, now they're wanting to quibble about taxes because the country's not doing that well. Joint ventures, though, in Cote d'Ivoire and the DRC with people like AngloGold Ashanti. I agree, very good operators, headquartered in Jersey, theoretically, but Mark's often in London for investor relations, and the operational administrative headquarters here in Joburg. Good company, well run, and he sells that story of yours a lot. This is the company to invest in if you think the gold price is going to shoot higher.
Hot or not?
I'm going to have to go hot as well. For a non-gold bull,
are you sure
hot.
You're not a gold bull? You were a little uncertain at the beginning of the show.
No,
now
I think
I'm confused.
Operationally, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think you've got to be hot on it.
Are you hot or not, Paul?
I worry that the problems related to their countries of operations are going to catch up with them. I don't like this dispute with the Mali government, and I am, as I said earlier, of the view that the gold price is a little bit more elevated now than it deserves to be given the noisy background, but that we're going to have a solid end to the year. So I'm afraid not.